Welcome to another video. Today we're going to be working on the S2000. As you saw, if you watched the last video on me test fitting wheels on the NSX, no longer on those wheels, back on kind of the storage winter wheels that I like to call them. But I showed that I had the exhaust removed off the S2000. And here it is. So for those of you that are a little bit keen-eyed, you'll notice that this isn't actually the Ballade Type S exhaust that I had on the car before. As some of you might be aware, that was kind of, I guess, like a stopgap exhaust. I really wanted an authentic ASM exhaust to go onto the car, but one, they're pretty hard to find. Two, they're a long single piece design, so that even if they do pop up for sale in the States, a lot of people are willing to not ship them because it's a lot of hassle. But I did happen to find one. So let me show you a little about the exhaust. I do have a couple, I guess, side-by-side pictures. I didn't actually make a video when I first got the exhaust and put it on the car just because I guess I felt oddly motivated to throw it on just to see how it sounds, fits up, etc. Unfortunately, it didn't really go exactly as planned, so I'll touch a little bit on that here. But yeah, so this is a early version ASM Special S exhaust in a 70 millimeter fitment, so 70 mil piping all the way through. So there were a few different versions of this. So there was the early one, version 1, which ultimately it didn't have a Helmholtz resonator, which this one does, but I'll talk to that in a little bit. And I think that was really the main thing. It came in a 70 millimeter and also a 60 millimeter piping size, and it was in stainless steel or titanium. Now I can't remember if they offered a titanium version throughout all the years that they produced this exhaust, but they did update this exhaust to a V2 setup, which had the Helmholtz resonator. And again, same 60 and 70 mil piping, either in stainless steel or titanium. So obviously, if I could have found a titanium one, that would have been amazing. But to be honest, I have never seen one even come up for sale, so I don't even really know how many they sold to begin with, or like really how many there are in general. These kind of popped up every now and then. And yeah, typically I would see kind of the earlier ones that didn't have the Helmholtz resonator pop up. But yeah, this one popped up in California. The seller was willing to ship to me. Unfortunately, it arrived a little bit damaged. Thankfully, nothing like my experience with Ballade, with the old Type S exhaust. It was just one of the hangers got a little bit tweaked, so that got addressed fairly easily. But yeah, it was kind of in not so great shape though. Like there was a lot of, I guess, like staining and corrosion on the muffler, which I spent a bit of time kind of polishing up because that's the visible part on the car. As for the piping itself, I mean, this is an older exhaust, so you can't really expect too much, so I'm not too concerned about that. So the one thing that bugged me about this example was not having a Helmholtz resonator. So as you can see, I actually got one put on just to reduce the amount of drone that was present on the car. Like I put this exhaust on, I loved how it sounds. Off of just initial sound impressions, it was a bit louder than the Ballade one, and a slightly different tone, but overall pretty close. So as much as I like to crap on Ballade, I will admit the exhaust that they copied was actually decently, it was a decent job done in terms of replicating the sound. In terms of longevity, I've heard very mixed things about that exhaust, but heck, even this one has longevity issues, so we'll kind of see how things play out. The most common issue on these is basically the exhaust packing failing. And then like rattling around. So thankfully this has just like a slight rattle, but I think it's more so just like debris that's within the muffler section itself. So I'm not really too concerned about it. You can't really hear it that much. But yeah, got basically a bent hanger fixed, Helmholtz resonator added to the exhaust. So the car is unfortunately parked for winter now. Probably can't see it, but it is full-on winter here. There's snow on the ground, etc. now. So I won't be able to actually hear what it sounds like on the car driving under load until the spring. So maybe I'll do like an updated exhaust sound video then when the car does come out of storage again. But yeah, I'm gonna throw this back on just to make sure that everything fits up nicely. We don't have any contact issues like I did before with the bank hanger. And yeah. Okay, so I have the exhaust back on the car. I didn't actually film anything because it's not very graceful because it's a one piece and I'm by myself, but using basically a combination of a jack stand to kind of help support. I usually just start in the middle of the system and then work my way forward and back to basically line everything up. But yeah, it looks like everything's pretty good. As you can see, we kind of have a shiny muffler there, that's the main piece that's visible. But yeah, like I mentioned before, I'm kind of excited to see if the addition of the Helmholtz resonator actually addressed the drone issue. Well, it wasn't really actually that big of an issue, but I just think I'm just getting old where I can't really tolerate a ton of noise from my cars anymore, so trying to make them quieter. But yeah, really stoked for that. Basically, to give you a heads up in terms of what's next on the S2000, this rear bumper is going to be coming off, and in the next video, you'll see why. But yeah, it's kind of just a short little sweet thing, just kind of comparing basically why I went to this new exhaust. But yeah, thanks for watching and catch you in the next S2000 video.
So I just wanted to add in a little bit of a bonus section, I guess. Here are just a couple pictures of a side-by-side comparison of the Ballade Sports Type S exhaust with the ASM Special S exhaust. So both in 70mm stainless steel construction. And as you can see, the Ballade Sports, the main differences are that one is a two-piece design, primarily for a shipping ease and also just ease for installation because now you don't have to struggle with a long single piece exhaust. And also the Ballade Sports has a Helmholtz resonator. So again, replicating the later version of the Special S. I wanted to kind of, I guess, reduce the noise as much as possible. So that's why, again, like I said before, added a new Helmholtz resonator in. But yeah, side by side, very similar, even in terms of like muffler dimension, resonator dimension, size, and even the piping configuration, which isn't a huge surprise because I've heard a lot of people say that Ballade essentially just blatantly copied what the Special S was. But yeah, just wanted to throw this in just to give you a better idea of what the two exhausts look like side by side. Again, thanks for watching and catch you in the next S2000 video.